Cycling was once my daily escape, a way to start my day with clarity and purpose. I used to cycle everywhere, but mostly back and forth to my workplace in South Melbourne. Coming home from 8 hours of office drudge by this scenic journey was a way to end what was a tense day, feeling serene and at one with the fleeting environment. One very early morning in 2014, in the middle of winter, the sun had begun to rise. I was a little tired and not concentrating as much as what I normally would. I mistakenly misjudged the bike path and the sandy escarpment, losing balance on the concrete ridge and crashed hard on my right-hand side. I ended up breaking my collarbone, a typical cyclist accident, in what later described by the attending doctor as an unusual fracture. A fellow cyclist following me on his morning commute saw me first wobble and twist, falling hard on my right. I heard my helmet banging loudly and then cracking. A potential lifesaver. This kind man helped me that cold morning, waiting at the cafe until the ambulance arrived, and it made me really start to consider my safety on a bicycle. But you see, I don't learn my lesson, do I? People said, no more. Enough is enough. Next time you may not be so lucky. But being stubborn is my nature, and as soon as I recovered, I was back in the saddle again. Unfortunately, another reminder a few years later confirmed, no, my lesson was not learned. A few years later, another accident happened, this time more severe. To this day, I'm not even sure how it happened. No memory. I was found on the tram tracks awakening to a circle of people above me, being told to stay still, lying in a pool of blood, then passing out, awakening on an operating table. I woke up with a broken neck, a fractured skull, and a shattered arm. Recovery was long and difficult. 8 days in hospital and 3 months in a hard neck brace. These injuries forced me to rethink my approach to cycling and my overall health. I only wanted to spend that day in peace at my old childhood refuge, Central Park, in East Malvern, only to have it shattered, literally. But there's more to this story. Living with ankylosing spondylitis. This condition causes pain and stiffness in my spine. It does make cycling challenging and risky, but it was managed with plenty of visual aids and I would say a pretty cautious riding style. So here we are now, it's 2025, back in Central Park. In the day, this was a refuge where I found real peace. Wilmot Fountain, as it's known, was in disrepair. No balustrade, no water, just an empty concrete circle with a block in the middle. As a 12-year-old, I flew around on a bike, and I also flew my 2 kites, one a box kite and another shaped as a hawk. I was fascinated with flight and wanted to be up there sailing along with them. My grandfather was a stamina trainer for the Hawthorn Football Club and had me mowing tracks for his Australian rules footballers. And then, of course, there was the one time in my teens when my friends and I thought experimenting with weed was a brilliant idea. As I stand here watching the waves crash against the blue stone groin, it's a reminder of how life is in constant motion. Just like these waves, life brings its ebbs and flows. The kite surfers out there embody that idea perfectly. They harness the wind and adapt to the changing tides. In the same way, I've had to find new paths and passions after everything that's happened. It's been about rediscovering what brings joy and meaning, even when my original plans took a detour. It's not about having everything figured out, but rather about being open to what comes next. I have been warned, plenty of times by my friends about the risks of riding a bicycle with my condition, but I just persisted, and I had to continue on because it was just so joyful. If you can imagine sitting up, riding, getting exercise, and looking at the scenery at the same time, it was one of the most joyful experiences that I had, and it was a fantastic start to my working day and a great way to finish the day from working 8 hours in an office. But life continues on, and so you've just got to remain stoic and keep on going. Luckily, I had a way of healing up, and I thank my lucky stars.